So my story time is actually going to be about another member of the channel. I'm not gonna name names. I'm just gonna leave this anonymous, and if anyone wants to try and guess, feel free. And before I begin, I realize I put up with this person's bullcrap for like way longer than I should have. I have a tendency to do that, and I'm trying to get better at not letting people treat me like garbage, because I know I deserve better than that. And I did eventually realize that, which is when I removed this person from my life. Again. Which is a completely different story. You can comment down below if you want to hear that one. Anyway, let's get into it. Alright, so this happened about 2 years ago in 2021. This person was letting me stay with them so that I could work at a warehouse that they were also working at. They said it was, pretty good work. It was decent pay. And I was having trouble finding a job at the time. And so I was just like, I'll take it. They said it was also like pretty easy to get hired there too. I wasn't going to turn down an opportunity like that. It only lasted a few months at first. But not because of anything they did. I was having some health issues, and I figured it would be easier to deal with those at home so I could go and see my doctor whenever I needed to. But I did go back several months later, and they let me stay with them again. But that's kind of when it started to go downhill. A couple of months before I went back is when I realized that I am trans, and I mentioned it to this person, along with another friend. Like, maybe a month or so later, when I felt a little bit more comfortable with it, I told them that I identify as non-binary, and I told them my pronouns. And, I gave them some grace at the start. I was patient, because I knew, it would take a little bit of getting used to, and I didn't want to immediately be, so hard on them about it, because I know it takes some time for some people, and I understand that. So, I was being patient with them at first. But I started to lose my patience when, after some time passed, they showed no effort of even trying to get my pronouns right. No effort whatsoever. So, I was feeling weird about it, but I'm just maybe you just need to give them a little bit more time. It's been a couple of weeks. Maybe they need a month or so to try and get used to it. I don't know. So I tried to be patient, but I can only stay patient for so long. But what really pissed me off, and then made me start to think, okay, this person might just not care at all. And, maybe transphobe, is when they told me straight to my face, it doesn't matter what you say. You're still technically a girl. That kind of had my blood boiling a little bit. And that's when I started to lose patience, and I was getting annoyed at everything at that point. And that actually also started to cause me to start getting annoyed with other people when they weren't getting it right away. Which I realized I should have been patient with other people, because this person was being a dick, Doesn't mean other people would too, but just being pissed off at this person caused me to also start to lose patience with other people too. But then, like, what really solidified that this person is definitely a transphobe is when they decided it's okay to out people without any regards to their safety whatsoever. They outed someone else first, and when it happened, I told that person. But, like, this person, like, straight up just told their boyfriend. Like, just straight up outed, like, this other person to their boyfriend. No regards. Anything. So, I told the person that they outed. Because, you know, that's what you do. You tell the person that they had been outed and who they were outed by. Because they deserve to know. And then this person got pissed at me when I told the person that got outed that they got outed. And then this person got yelled at. Okay, I got interrupted. Where was I? Okay, this person got yelled at by the person that they outed. Rightfully so. And you'd think that after getting yelled at like that, they'd, like, have some tact after that. Or, like, think about their actions. But no. Because not even a month later, like maybe a week or two, I don't know, after getting yelled at, this person then decided that it was okay to do it to me. I don't know if they ever, like, straight up told anyone that I'm, like, trans or non-binary or anything, but what they did do was decide that that was the time to start using my pronouns and, at the time, my chosen name. Because by then was when I chose a different name to start going by. But they decided to do all of this around people that knew me as dead name and she, her. Like, my real friends were at least, like, what's the word? I don't know, my brain's not working. This person was putting so much emphasis on my pronouns and my name, as if they were trying to tell everyone, hey, look at this freak using weird pronouns and a different name. The name change could have been explained with, like, I was just, like, starting to go by my middle name, because a lot of cis people do that, and that's fine, that's normal, and that's what I, like, started doing at first. I just decided to start going by my middle name to start out with, and it just felt right after that, and so I've been using the name since. But the pronouns can't be explained without me outing myself, and I wasn't comfortable with doing that yet. I wasn't, like, publicly, like, fully out or anything, just to close friends and a few family members, and I was still experimenting with my pronouns and my name at the time. For this person to then, like, just start doing that, and even putting emphasis whenever they use the different pronouns, like, kind of an example is, like, they were talking to someone and mentioned me, and then they were saying, like, I can't think of anything. Oh, look at the cat! Oh, my head's in the way. Look at the cat! she'll be in another video later. I can't really think of an example because I'm tired. It's 7 in the morning. I haven't slept yet, and I still have to do other stuff today. So I'm probably not gonna get any sleep, and I'm gonna be so exhausted today. But instead of just using like they them casually, like I've been doing in this entire story, they were putting like so much emphasis, like they. Like, they were legit saying it like that. Like, they're saying they. As if they were trying to draw attention to it. And I do remember at least trying to have a conversation with this person about it. But they're the type of person that don't really listen to anyone. Unless they, like, deem you as, like, an important person. And, like, what you say is important and should be listened to, but I wasn't important. Anything I said wasn't important enough to pay attention to, so they never listened to me. Oh, and speaking of having no regards to anyone's safety, this brings me to another thing. This person is also, oh my god. This person is also controlling. So freaking controlling. So when I was staying with them for the job, I pretty much wasn't really allowed to do anything that involved leaving the apartment unless we were going to work. They didn't let me have a key for a long time, which meant I couldn't really do anything because if I left the apartment, I would get locked out. So I was pretty much just stuck in the apartment the entire time unless we were going to work. Eventually, I was able to bully them into letting me have a key after I was left to freeze outside for almost an hour. I was getting sick of pretty much not really being allowed to do anything because I'm a grown adult. I can do whatever the freak I want. Some controlling mother effer isn't gonna tell me how to live my life. And I wanted to hang out with a friend at one point because I was bored and I wanted to do something. So I made plans with this friend. I told the controlling transphobe my plan, and I told them to leave the door unlocked or to let me have a key so I can get back into the apartment later when I was done. But they were so against letting me even borrow a key. Like, I really don't see the issue in just letting me even borrow a key for a night so that I can go and do something unless you have other intentions behind it. But since they were against letting me even borrow a key for the night, I told them, just leave the door unlocked then. And they agreed to leave the door unlocked. So I went and I hung out with my friend. I hung out with my friend for about an hour or so. I didn't want to stay out too late because it was a weeknight and I had to work the next day. So I didn't want to stay out too late. I just wanted to do something fun. But after hanging out with this friend, I get back to the apartment and what do you know? The door is locked. So I knock on the door several times. Nothing. So I went around the apartment to this person's bedroom window and I knocked on their window. Nothing. I went back and tried the door again a few more times, and I even called this person several times, like 5 times, and nothing. So I decided to just wait around for 10 minutes. My stupid self decided to hope that they were just in the bathroom or taking a shower or something. So I just wait around for like 10 minutes before I try knocking and calling again. But still nothing. After like 5 more minutes of like trying to knock and call. And before waiting the 10 minutes, I had already been trying to get in for like 10-15 minutes. So that's already like almost half an hour that I have been stuck outside And this was around like the end of November or the beginning of December, so it was cold. I live in Arizona, and I think the temperature around that time was like somewhere in the 30s or 40s. And like, I know to some of you that live in colder states, like, that's nothing, but I live in Arizona. 40 degrees is freezing. But by that point, I'm just completely fed up. I'm freezing cold because all I had was a light jacket, because I didn't think I'd need like a big huge jacket, because I figured I'd be able to get back into the apartment. So I'm fed up, freezing cold, and so I just pull up maps on my phone and decide to just look for like the nearest gas station or just anything that's open, so that I can just go inside somewhere and warm up, maybe go to the bathroom, because I also had to pee by that time. And I found a Circle K that was about maybe a 10-minute walk away. So I go there. And then by the time I get there, or like a little bit after, I don't remember, this person finally sends me a text asking where I am. So I explained that I had been knocking and calling and trying to get in for almost half an hour. And so I just went to the nearest gas station to warm up because I was cold. And I asked them what happened. And they claimed that they fell asleep and said I should have called. Look, I called you several times. But whatever, you know? I just proceed to ask if they're finally going to let me inside the apartment so I can shower and just go to bed, because I'm just exhausted by that point and I just want to go to sleep. I start to walk back. They then tell me that their boyfriend is on his way to get me and drop me off at the apartment. I said that's not necessary, I'll just walk, because he made me extremely uncomfortable. But they insisted, and I decided to just not argue because I was freezing and exhausted, and I didn't have the energy to argue. So I just, whatever. He got me, and he dropped me off, and I immediately grabbed a change of clothes, locked myself in the bathroom, and decided to take a hot bath before taking a shower, just to warm myself up and try and calm myself down too, because I was pissed off majorly. But after that, I was kind of able to bully this person into letting me have a copy of the key, since they felt bad. I very much doubt they did, but since they claimed to feel bad about it, I pretty much just said, prove it, let me have a copy of the key so it doesn't happen again. And I eventually got one. Now, about this boyfriend making me very uncomfortable. He's kind of a creep. Like, he's much older than this person is. Much older. It's extremely weird, honestly. But I also noticed that this dude would stare at me, like, a lot. To the point that, like, I could feel his eyes on me when I wasn't even, like, looking in his and it was really unnerving, honestly. I wasn't comfortable even being around him, let alone being alone with him, like, in his car when he picked me up to take me back to the apartment when I got locked out. And, I mean, I'll be honest, I am kind of used to guys, like, kind of every now and then. Like, it just happens. I was cursed with big chesticles, and it's balanced out on the bottom. But this dude made it weird. His age made it weird too, because I'm 24. And he's almost old enough to be my grandpa. But, like, also the amount that he stared was weird too, because, like, what most guys do is, like, they look over, they see it, they look away, but then they do, like, a double take, and, like, wow, nice, or whatever. I don't know. But this dude stared a lot. Like, instead of just, like, most guys would do, he's straight up, like, no. Like, he made me uncomfortable so much to the point that I wasn't even comfortable wearing, like, my usual wardrobe, like what I usually wear. I changed up what I started wearing to try and make myself more comfortable. Like, I started wearing baggy t-shirts, big sweatpants, like, just anything to try and make myself look as boxy as I could, so that there was, like, not really anything to look at. But, like, even after leaving and getting away from these people, I still couldn't bring myself to wear my regular wardrobe for a little bit, because it had just made me so uncomfortable, and I did not feel comfortable unless I was looking boxy, even when I wasn't around these people, which honestly is kind of sad. And I don't remember what was the final nail in the coffin that broke me and made me choose to leave, because it was just a lot at once and everything kind of built up. So I don't remember what was, like, the breaking point for me, but just after all of that, I just couldn't do it anymore. So one Friday in December, I went into work, went to HR, and I put in a week's notice. After work, I went back to the apartment, called my mom, packed up all my stuff, and I left. And I spent the last week at work at home and having my mom drive me to work, because I wanted the extra week just to, like, say bye to my friends and stuff and anyone else there that I had gone along with. But I just couldn't stay that last week there. I just couldn't do it. After leaving, the Friday of my final week after I left, I blocked this person on everything without a word and just completely removed them from my life. And that was 2 years ago. And honestly, my life has been better since.